And we're live. There we go. So, hey, welcome to this little pop-up Q&A. I'm so excited we're here. So how are you doing today? I should say, real quick before we jump in.
I'm awesome. I'm doing really great today. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day in paradise over here. So I'm excited to talk about this, right? Because honestly, like serve to sell, right, is a framework that a lot of people use and that I teach is very tactical, like for closing sales. But you and I had a good conversation around just like what it takes. The reality is there's an element of showing up to perform, maybe is the right word, I don't know, but at least like to show up in the right headspace and the right, just like how you show up for those things. So I know it'd be good for us to talk about that today. But one of the reasons why I'm excited about this Q&A especially is last week I was actually doing a training with some clients where I was walking them through and teaching them the serve to sell method. And they pointed out in the chat that when I was training, I was like in one mode. And as soon as I taught them part of the serve call, I would go into a different posture. I would go into like, tell me more about that. And what else? What have you tried before today? And it was interesting to me because I thought, they're right. There really is a totally different way to show up. So I'm excited to talk about that today. But before we get into that, I want to say, first of all, welcome to our live viewers and the replay people. We like you too. But welcome to everybody who's tuning in. I'd love it if you would introduce yourself to the audience.
Absolutely. So my name is Dr. Leslie Davis. You can call me Leslie.
Okay.
I am a vocal leadership and communication coach. I equip spirit-led leaders and entrepreneurs to speak with authentic impact. I use neuroscience-informed training, identity alignment, and I help to bridge the gap between the inner truth and the outer expression. My mission is to empower leaders to silence the imposter and show up with a grounded, authoritative voice in every space that you are in, whether that's at home, whether that's on a serve call, no matter what you're doing, that you are authentically you.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. Yeah, so as you're coming in live, everybody, I'd love to know, feel free to jump in the chat at any point with any questions. Or it's also such a gift if you share light bulb moments when you find something that you find really helpful. And you can also, we found out, this is only my second time doing live Q&A and Substack, but we found out that if you hit that heart button, it kind of like on this side for us, it like flashes across the screen in a really beautiful way to kind of give us some dopamine. So if you would just hit that heart button real quick, just to make sure it works properly for you, we just do a quick test. If you would just like tap that 2 or 3 times, that'd be great. I'd love to see that coming in on the back end, and then we'll go ahead and dig in for today. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the dopamine. Love it. Hearts are free, folks. So by the way, I read an article the other day that was just talking about, it sounds so silly the way we talk about like likes or hearts. Like generally like people say like, I got like 6 likes or 20 likes or whatever. But I read an article the other day where the author, she said 46 women pressed their heart to the post or to what I wrote because they saw themselves in it. And I was like, that is such a beautiful way to just describe what it really means. So let's talk a little bit about your background in terms of how you got into what you're doing now. And then of course we'll talk about serve calls and how to perform. But yeah, so you got a lot of instruments I see behind you. So I assume that's part of your background, right? I mean,
Yes.
literally and metaphorically.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is our studio. I figure since I'm a vocal coach, among other things, I might as well not block out my real environment here.
I love
So
it.
we've got computers, drums, guitars, all the things in here. And so it's actually my husband's studio. So he is a producer, but I
Cool.
sing.
That's awesome.
So I try to play, but I'm not the best instrumentalist, unless you call the vocals a instrument, which I do.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I'm a vocalist as well. No, I love that. And and a lot, I would say that your background looks a lot like a lot of places where I've been in Nashville, honestly, like where I'm from. I'm just like a lot of basements look like that with all the instruments and love that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, so you read Serve to Sell and you started, kind of like learning about this process. And obviously I know that you've been, building your coaching business, your consulting business with this as well. I'd love to hear from you. Like, let's not focus on the tactics for right now. Let's just focus on if we want to meet with a potential client, because that's what the goal of a serve call is. If you haven't read the book, anybody listening, and I mean, maybe you should, but also you can call it a sales call if that's easier for you to understand what we're talking about. But when you're going into a conversation with a potential client, how do we need to show up? What are some things that you do to warm up for serve calls to get in the right either headspace or to kind of physically prep? Can you give us some tips on this?
I sure can, because it's a multidimensional thing, right? So we've got the physical of warming up your voice. So you can do some lip trills and some what I call creaky doors to warm up your inner edges to make sure you're not phlegmy and coughing throughout your presentation or throughout the
Mm,
time that you're talking to someone. So there's that to do, but then there's more to it. There's where is your heart before you go into this call? And so part of what I do is that inner alignment piece. So I am an inner healing and deliverance minister, and I have been pastoral counselor for many years. And so that plays into how I teach people to show up authentically. And I say it's important to be authentic because you're not just showing up to make a sale, even though that's the outcome we want. You're showing up to make a connection. Because even if
yeah,
they don't say yes today, they're here for you. They're here because something about you made them want to show up for you. And you as a human want to show up as a human to talk to another human. And that's so important for that to be part of your mindset because if you're always thinking about the sale, the sale, the sale,
yeah.
they can pick up on that. And so one of the things that I do is I pray and I ask the Lord to give me insight into the person I'm going to be talking to. How can I encourage them? And then I have right here next to me too. It's kind of tattered and worn, but this is my what I call the persona statement. And what the
Okay.
persona statement is a time that you need to prep this before prepping for a call. So this is one of the things that you would build on the back end for yourself, and you would pray into who you are created to be. And
Hmm.
when you're operating out of who you're created to be, that is going to be the authentic person that is showing up. And so as you write that out and you read through that, I would say daily, revisit it before a call. So you say, I'll give you just a little bit of mine. And it's a
Yeah,
little
please.
vulnerable. It's a little vulnerable because it's like who I'm created to be and to
Yeah.
acknowledge that we're not all there yet, but we will be, right?
Mm,
So I start with, I am a radiant, spirit led woman. I'm lit from within and I'm grounded with truth. I carry the presence of God in every breath, and my life flows in rhythm with wisdom, wonder, and joy. I am a safe place for myself and for others, anchored in alignment, led by grace, alive with purpose. Wherever I go, I show up authentically me. I bring presence, I bring play, courage, curiosity, and I let my life become a river of connection that calls others into freedom and transforms the landscape. I do not leave a space the way that I found it. And so there goes, it's longer. I won't read the whole thing.
hmm.
But what that does is it gives you insight into you. And as I say, I am a river of connection that flows out of me and into the person that I'm talking to. So even today, like with all of us sitting here in this room together, maybe having some coffee or something like that, it's a river of connection that flows between us. We're all connected. And so it's really important to take a moment and make that connection with yourself first, because then you can make that connection authentically with the person in front of you.
Oh,
So
that's
that's really
beautiful.
important.
That's good. I was just while you were saying that, I was just pulling up. I haven't listened in a while, but I have a list of you know sort of. I hadn't thought of them as like identity statements, but they are right. They're affirmations, identity statements that I used to read every day as I would kind of like get into kind of first building my business, where there's a lot of. I mean, I still have doubts. I still have bad days and good days, but there was definitely a season of like trial where I'm just like showing up with a smile and trying to like show up to a surf call to grow my business. When I was really kind of freaking out because it was less natural for me. Um, yeah, and so I'll just read a couple of those statements because I had a list of these that are kind of similar to what you shared to help a lot. And one of them was, I know that patience, prayer, and persistence is my path to prosperity. I like alliteration, even in my journal. Um, I work when I want, where I want, with the people I want to work with. I breathe in confidence and breathe out doubt. My energy attracts my ideal customers and clients. I heard that from somebody else. And that one really helped me realize that if I showed up in a really anxious way, then I was going to probably attract either no clients or more anxious clients. But when I show up with confidence, resilience, I attract people that I really enjoy working with who are more Well, enough. Well, I don't. Well, that just people that are ready for change and agency and kind of control in their life. I also have today is precisely the perfect time to complete today's good work. My clients crave my attention, are grateful to learn from me. I am excited to find out what challenges today will bring. After all, I'm an entrepreneur. I am energized by solving problems. That's why I'm a natural entrepreneur. And so I would share all of those. I share all those because those are private. I mean, I used to just like journal on those every morning before I started my workday because they helped me get into the right headspace to be able to show up as, with that. Those are statements that are stated as true, right? Even if I didn't always feel that. And so by getting into the right headspace, that allowed me to show up that way. Anybody who's using the Surf Call Guide, so the link is just surfcallguide.com, and it's sort of like the one-page version of the book that kind of comes out and gives you that. If you are using that in any form or fashion, like there's a Notion version or PDF version, you'll notice I have a couple phrases right there at the top that's also meant to help of be kind, be curious, believe, right? To just try to help you into the right headspace. Yeah. Leslie, what's your take on that in terms of like why are those phrases specifically important? And could you expound upon that in terms of how to get us the right headspace?
Absolutely. Yes. So as we start our call, whatever happened before that, before I got on this call, I'll just put this like this. Before I got on this
Yeah.
call this morning, I had a co-working session. I had a couple of other things that I was working on, and I was a little bit stressed about something else. And then in the middle of that, my 3-year-old takes a protein shake and just dumps it on the table. And I was
Oh
like,
dear.
I know. So it's just like, how am I going to react right here? How am I going to, I was like,
Hmm.
you're going to have to clean that up because I'm not going to clean that up for you. This is not okay. And so, in relation to that, the things that happen in our lives, as we say in joking, life be lifing. So, as life is lifing, we have to learn how we want to respond. It's so easy to react to the things going on around
Hmm.
us. And knowing I had to go live, I had to, do the normal things, take a shower, do the things, and show up as me authentically and
Yeah.
connect. So, how I handle a situation there ripple affects how I'm going to handle situations later. So, when we start our day
Hmm.
in the very beginning in a proper mindset and do what you got to do to get there. Um, when you put your feet on the floor, what do you need to tell yourself first thing in the morning to do what you got to do to get there? And so that be kind and be curious. I would say go so far as to know what your own personal values are. And I think that these 3 things connect to your value system and how you want to show up. So, if you want to be a kind person, if it's in your value system to have connection and be kind, then that's how you need to live authentically through your day so that you can respond in kindness. So that you're not showing up going, I've just got to pretend none of that ever happened. I just need to perform for this person in front of me. But then, like you said before, it comes out in the quality of your voice. It comes
Yeah.
out with the energy that you're projecting. And so when it gives you a mental reset to look at first. I am kind. I am curious. I really am curious. And I
Hmm.
believe that I can help you. I believe in myself. I believe in you. And so that just really tweaks the mindset. Even if you did yell at your kids beforehand, it gets you back. It recalibrates, right? So
Yeah.
we need a
Recalibration.
recalibration.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So what else should we be doing to warm up for surf calls? Like in terms of like we just talked about some mindset stuff, which is good. Um, but I'm curious, like, what else should we be doing? I mean, you kind of alluded to like vocal warm ups. Like, is this? I know I'm thinking about like I do a lot of Q and A's. And I'm thinking about sometimes a client will come on to ask a question, and they'll sort of like come on the mic and immediately go like, "Sorry," before they jump in, and like I've noticed it kind of like underpins their ability to like show up and speak with confidence, even though they're just asking a question. So I'm curious, like, what are some practical things as a vocal expert that we should be doing to, uh, to serve to sell with confidence? We're not showing up to sing, but we are using our voice.
Yes. And it's the same thing whether you're going to show up and sing or whether you're going to show up and speak or whether you're going to have a conversation with someone. It really is. And I would go so far as to say it starts before the day even begins. So you know these calls are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So preparation is key. What do you need to do to prepare yourself? So there's some things that I can give you, but then you're going to need to know for yourself. What are those things that I need to do to be in that mindset? And this is
Yeah.
daily life too. So one thing is make sure you're getting enough rest at night. Do your gratitude journal before you go to bed so that your rest is sweet. If you had a hard day, find the gold in the day, write it down, put it by your bed, and then intentionally wake up and look at it first. Sometimes, one of the things that I do in this regard is I set my alarm to my soaking worship music so that when I wake up in the heart posture of serving. I wake up
Mm.
in a soaking mode, and it helps me to wake my mind up in a way that I want to wake up. And it could be different for you. It could be like the eye of the tiger wakes you up, you're ready to run. So whatever it does that for you, make that your alarm tone. Make it your ringtone. And then after you do that,
Mhm.
yes, the
Sorry, keep
next
going.
thing that you
Yeah.
would know you're fine. The next thing you could do is to know what is going to get you going in the morning. Have a glass of water, put some lemon in your water, and then move your body. So moving your body gets all of that leftover lactic acid, all the things moving through your bloodstream. We're not created to be sedentary people. So when you move your body first, you're getting yourself going for the day, and it sets in motion not just your body, not just the blood flow, but everything that comes after that. And then look at your calendar and prepare your mind. What do I have to do today? When do I need to
Yeah.
show up? And so in that preparation process, there is like what is going to serve you the best so that you can serve the best. So I don't take calls before 10 because I know my kids need me in the morning
Mhm.
first. So I get all those things out of the way, and then starting about maybe an hour before I have calls and things like that, I start reading my persona statement. I'll put my feet on the ground, stand up, put your hands in the air, stretch a little bit. Do it now. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in the good, let out the tension. And then, how do you want to show up? How do you want to show up? I want to show up clear and confident. And then there's the vocal exercises. So you can let me know if you want me to go into a couple of vocal exercises that can help you
Yeah. I
today. I'd
mean,
be happy to.
I was in the Tennessee Choral Academy when I was a kid, so I learned a lot of those kind of vocal exercises, but I'm curious, like, are there when we're talking about really just, like, preparing our voice to, like, speak confidently, and by the way, we're talking today about, like, serve to sell or stir calls, but this also is true if you're teaching a workshop, if you're doing a live Q&A, whatever that is in terms of like your voice is, such an important instrument for sharing, your message and for sharing that with people. So I'm curious how, yeah, what kind of vocal warm up should we do? I'm happy to practice a couple.
Okay, that's awesome. So I would pick a few that really warm up the inner edges of the vocal cords, and to understand the anatomy of the vocal cords just a little bit. We have our chest voice, which is down here. That's our speaking voice. We're usually here. We have our head voice. That's where we resonate at a higher level, and we use that a lot when we're singing. And then we have the middle. If you think
Hmm.
of it like maybe a house with a staircase. You've got the living room downstairs, and then you have bedrooms upstairs. But to get from downstairs to upstairs, you have to go up the stairs. And the stairs are very narrow. It's the same way with your voice. So to get from here to here, you have to have the bridge. And with that, the first thing that I would do is just kind of bring flow to that area, because that's the area that's going to be moving. And so the easiest way to do that, I would say, is some lip trills. And they're kind of fun, and just be playful. Be playful with it,
Okay.
because you're going to have fun with it if you're playful. So, yeah, like a horse.
Yeah.
Be a pony. So if you have trouble, just push your cheeks together with your hands, poke out your lips, and then
The Q&A in which John makes a fool of himself on Substack Live. Great.
hmm So just keep practicing that.
Okay.
And then and this is going to make it even sillier looking, but you're going to want to stick out your tongue, stretch your throat.
Okay.
Ah,
Ah.
just like you stretched your arms and your core, stretch your throat, stretch your neck.
Could I also get away by singing like Broadway musicals? Like, could that
Oh,
also
you
be part of
could.
my work? Okay. That might be that might feel a little more natural for me.
Go for it. Go for it. Let's hear it.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. Are you warmed up for it?
No.
Mm.
Um, no, probably not. Quien pudiera. Yeah, there's also some like Spanish ballads that like run through my mind. Um, I actually asked my wife out in Spanish. Well, not exactly, but we were with some friends at a karaoke bar, and I went up and I sang "Bésame mucho," the ballad, if you know it, and which since if you don't speak Spanish, it just means "kiss me a lot." Um, and so that's how I asked my now wife out. Was I went up there on stage and sang this "Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez." Um, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it worked. It worked. I'll report that much. But um,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yes. So one of the things, because you want to clear your throat, you want to you want to have that clear before you come on, and actually
Well,
that
wait,
can go
real
back
quick.
to diet too. Yes.
Let me chime in on this real quick. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people skip this part. We started talking about the mindset, and like that is a really key part of this part to get the right mindset. But I think there is also a key part of like when you're showing up again, whether it's like if you're on a call talking to a potential client, you need to show up with a clear voice, with a confident, controlled voice, right? And so I know we're being a little silly with some of these vocal exercises, but the reality is, like, you should be speaking with confidence. And it's really easy to like be working on your laptop in silence for maybe even a chunk of your day and not say a word, and then jump on a call and realize, oh shoot, I've got this like phlegm build up over here. I'm kind of raspy. Like this is not how I want to show up. And so, um, yeah, maybe we should start every workday with Broadway ballads. I don't know, maybe, but or whatever that is. But the idea is though that warming up your voice is a key genuine sales strategy. I honestly like to be able to like be more effective because you're showing up with more confidence and more authority, and it's so important.
That's
Um,
so good. To add to that, so let's do our exercises before you sing your Broadway musicals because you want to make
okay.
sure your voice is warmed up and
Oh, yeah,
pliable and flexible and ready to go. But
fair.
that may be the way you warm up. But to bring into your point is when we are stressed or we have tension or we have nerves, sometimes we're nervous before we get on a call, right? When we have those feelings, we need to reset our nervous system a little bit more. And this goes beyond just
Mm.
mindset work. The voice is a direct connection to the vagus nerve, which is the control center of our nervous system, right?
Not to be confused with the Las Vegas. This is different than that. Yeah.
No, it's different than Las
Yeah.
Vegas, but you can have some of the same dopamine hits from that. I don't, no
Okay.
judgment.
But what is the vagus nerve? Tell me more. I want to make sure
So
that's clear.
yes, so the vagus nerve is the nerve that runs through the spinal cord and attaches to the brain. And
Okay.
so when we use our voice, when we sing specifically, it lights up and it just brings that serotonin release for our brain and it gets us in a positive mood. And I experienced this recently. I was just kind of in a mood and I was having a hard time shifting and my kids, I wanted them to have a good day. I wanted to have a good day and I was like, "Let's let's have a karaoke party in the living room, guys." And so we went and got out the karaoke machine. We pulled out the microphones and we started singing stuff from The Greatest Showman for a couple of reasons because their message in every one of those songs makes me ready to conquer anything.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
then
one.
yes, and then the voice that you need to use is like it's a serotonin release just to light up the brain in that. So, I won't go
What?
too deep in the technical things of the vagus nerve because it is
Okay.
quite technical, but it is the control center of your nervous system.
And so
And
you're
that's what
saying
you
that
need to know.
singing some songs like in specific ranges or specific. I'm not sure. It sounds like you're saying singing some songs in that way actually brings over to reset your nervous system in some form or fashion.
Yes, think of like a baby when you're rocking them to sleep, you're usually humming to them. Your
Right.
hum calms your nervous system, and it also, the vibrations calms their nervous system as well. So that's one of the reasons why we calm our babies through singing.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is good. I've been on the receiving end of surf calls or whatever they called it, whether or not they call it surf calls, where I could tell the person presenting to me was anxious or nervous.
Mhm.
And I never said anything, right? Like I never like told them that, but I can recognize that. And it definitely, affects how you receive what they're saying. It makes you, what it does is it makes you start to wonder, do they believe what they're saying? Right? Because they're asking you to believe it, but do they believe it? Like you have to believe it first. And so
Mhm.
this stuff matters. So, um, yeah. Um, so why don't you tell us a bit about like what do we do with this information? Like, do you have any like resources or guides that you want to share with us in terms of like how to take this and make it a practical part of like I want to get tactical here. Like I want to get into like tell me to like let's just say tomorrow I've got a surf call and I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of getting that like what is my action plan?
Okay, so I obviously, there's a whole bunch of things that go into what you need to do to prepare your body and your mind. But about 10 minutes before your serve call, I would get in a quiet space and
Okay.
connect to yourself and connect to, like, for me, it's connect to God. Ask Jesus to, when I open my mouth, you will fill it. Lord, I trust that when I open my mouth, you will fill it. Give me awareness. So, the first thing that we need to remember is to create our awareness. So, my framework goes awareness, um, action, and then alignment. So, as soon as you're aware of something, then you have the ability to take action on it. So, we know better, we do better, right? If we didn't know, we couldn't do it. But as we become aware, then we can take action.
Okay.
And then that action puts us into alignment. So, whatever it is that you need to do, I would spend some time journaling to make sure that you know what those things are that create awareness and action in your life. But for me and a lot of my clients, it's taking the moment to just do a body scan, take a deep breath, become aware of where you have tension, become aware of if you have phlegm, what does different foods make you feel like?
Mm,
What questions do you need to ask yourself? And I'm in the business of asking better questions, learning to ask better questions. And so you're asking questions of your clients, ask questions of yourself too, right? Start connecting with you so that when you're connected to you, you don't feel the need to talk the whole time on a serve call. Your
yeah.
your mission is to gather information, and if you're constantly thinking about something else back here, you're not going to hear their answers. So then you're not active listening. So it's a practice of active listening, and you can practice this before you get on your call. When you do your vocal exercise, and I did this before I got on this call. I would I do what's called the creaky door, where you slow your vocal cords down just enough to get little pops. Do you ever do
Okay.
that? It's kinda
No.
fun. It's kinda fun, like, you can be a frog. I
I
have
mean
all
my
kinds of
kids do
animals
that,
that you can be.
but
Wah. And as you feel those little crackles, go up a scale like a creaky door. Wah.
what does that do?
And that slows down the vocal cords, and then you can feel where
It
there's
slows down the vocal
misfires.
cords?
It slows it down to
Okay.
little pops, and then it thins out at the top, and it gets thicker at the bottom. It's part of being aware of what's going on here. And before I got on this call, actually, I had to do it several times to clear my throat because
Mm,
I could feel
mm,
places that were missing. Like, wah. Oh, there's a little phlegm. And then go back.
mm.
Wah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. And so that's actually one of the most effective vocal exercises that you can do before you speak, before you sing, before you need to use your voice at all. And it's very
That's a good hack
reparative.
or good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very reparative exercise to do. So if you have a sore throat and you're sick, so that's a very good one to do when you're sick, and you can still sing after doing that one. You can realign and recalibrate your actual vocal cords with that exercise.
That's great.
So I would do that, deep
Yeah.
breathing, yeah, and then read your persona statement. Those are the 3
Yeah.
things that I would do to create awareness and action.
That's good.
And
Okay.
in that, take a deep breath. You are aligned, you are ready, you are confident, you are asking good questions, and you are ready to serve because you are a coach. And what do
Speaking
coaches
of
do?
asking good questions, I'd love to kind of invite anyone who's tuning in live, or everyone who's tuning in live, or just you, the one person I'm talking to that's tuning in live, looking at you. And I'd love to know if you would let us know what questions you have in the chat. If you have questions for Leslie or I about, how to give serve calls, it's really how to serve yourself with confidence, how to warm your body up, your mind up, making sure you're in the right headspace for that. And let me also just go ahead and ask you, Leslie, now, do you have any resources on this where we should go learn further from you in terms of any guide or a resource you can share with us?
Sure, I have a couple of resources, but I think that one of the ones that would probably be the best for this topic is called The Journey to Your Authentic Voice. And in that, I give you mindset, um, mindset work, some vocal work, and some alignment work with a little bit of information about it. I'll write it in the chat here. So
Okay.
you you can go
Where do we
to
go for this?
you can go to Mind Shift, SHIFTLL, that stands for Leadership and Learning, .com/AV Blueprint. And what that's going to do is it's going to take you to a page that shows you the 10-minute reset system. In the 10-minute reset system, it's a 10-minute system that you can use with a guided vocal. I'll lead you through a guided audio to take you through the blueprint, and then you can actually watch the webinar as well if you want to go a little deeper. There, it's all there after you enter your info.
Perfect. That's great. Love it. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm thinking about, what about when it comes to endurance here? I mean, I think a lot of people when they're starting serve calls, they're thinking about they probably don't have enough, right? They're when they think about meeting with potential clients. And so usually a lot of focus is like, let's get more leads, let's get more leads, let's get more calls. But there's got to be a limit, right? In terms of either mentally or just like vocally, like having back-to-back meetings, especially where you're showing up in like kind of like a stage presence a bit. Anything, what guidelines can you share in terms of how many serve calls you can get back to back or in a day or a row, or how long you should have a block where you're talking live to potential clients?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
such a
what
good
guidelines can you
question.
share?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And it's a very individual answer. So, one,
Mm.
I think I actually just studied something on this I think would be very helpful.
Oh,
Is think
perfect.
of your energy level like having a set of spoons. And
Okay.
for every time you have to give out your energy, you are giving out spoons or popsicle sticks or whatever works for you. And when you need to practice awareness, where is your energy today? What do you need to be more energetic? Or are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? What
Hmm.
do you personally need to manage your energy? So, we talk about time management a lot, and that comes into play too when you're scheduling your calls. But I really think that if you can focus on your energy management, then you're going to be able to show up and know where you're at. And I would start small because you're giving out energy. Even if you are an extrovert, you're giving out energy every time you show up to a call, every time you prep for a call. Some people have 10 spoons, some people have one spoon, and
Hmm.
it can vary from day to day. So, how many spoons do you have today? And then set your calendar up that honors your energy levels, honors your life. And one of the things that we do as coaches, and one of the things I know that you teach, John, is about having the life that serves your energy. And so, how you set
Yeah.
up your coaching program, how you set up your how many calls you're going to take. I would do personally, I would do 2 to 4 calls in a day, but not everybody can do 4 calls in a day. You need to know where
Yeah,
your
I find
energy
that if
level
I
is.
find that I can do 2 or 3 and then I need a break. Usually I just do 2 or 3 so usually what I do is once a week I have a block on like Tuesday afternoons, and that's like where I do, either 2 or 3 surf calls. I haven't done much more in a day before, but what I try to do is get a break in there where it's like 2 or 3 and then take an hour break and then 2 or 3. 'Cause because otherwise 2 things happen. 1, the energy starts to fade, but 2, I get to the end of the day and I don't even remember the people I don't the conversations all blur together. I can't even remember the difference between them, and it's hard to follow up with people. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, this is good.
So,
Yeah,
no, so
was there
know
something else
your
I wanted to add there?
yeah, just know your capacity. Like that's that awareness phase. And then when you know your capacity, then you can take action on that. And then your action becomes the alignment. So if you know that you only have 3 spoons on a Wednesday, because this is what life looks like on a Wednesday, then you're going to look at your calendar and say, where do I want to lay down my spoons? for my company?
Mm,
Where do I want to do that? Where is my energy best? If I know that we have dinner at 6 o'clock at night, I'm not going to schedule a serve call at 6 o'clock at night because my head is not going to be in the game.
yeah.
If I
I
know, yeah,
I don't know where I don't know. It's so fascinating that you just read research on this because I'll tell you, my wife and I don't remember where we got it, but we use this language at home all the time. We say like, I'm low on spoons. I've got 3 spoons left. We actually use spoons. So I don't know, maybe somebody we know must have read the same research or something. Cause I'm like, it's kind of like freaking me out a little bit hearing you describe this. Cause I'm like, that's what that's what we say is like, when my wife says I'm low on spoons, I cover her. She goes to take a break. We come back. We talk about which friends, like there are certain friends where we need to have a certain amount of spoons in a reserve to go spend time with them.
yes.
So, um, it's so fascinating to me. But I can't remember where we got it. So it must be, whatever the study is that you're referencing. Like I must have like must have passed this on to me
Right.
before. That's fascinating.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody did it's a chronic illness term. So like when
Mm,
somebody has chronic fatigue or they have certain things that they have to deal with in their body, you have to be aware of your energy and where you're at and how your output is and what gives you energy too. So you think of it like an energy bank. You've got three main categories. You have things that give you energy,
hmm
you have things that take your energy, and you have
hmm
neutral things, the things that you just do that neither take from you nor are you putting out or gaining from it. So
Yeah.
if you are doing dishes, and dishes, for example, is just kind of a mundane task, it doesn't bother you too much. You're washing your dishes, you're done. It's just the way it is. But if it takes from you for whatever reason and you're doing your dishes and you feel depleted afterwards, what do you need to do to fill your cup? So
hmm
knowing those things, and I would do a time audit. And in a time audit, what you're doing is bringing awareness to your feelings about different tasks that you're doing. So, does a serve call take energy from you, or does it give energy to you at the end? Or is it neutral for you? So, if you know that it takes your energy, then you're going to want to do something that fills you up first. So, if going to the gym, for example, gives me energy. I go, I get energized. It may take me a minute to get there, but once I'm there, I'm on it. And then I come home ready to serve my family.
Mm, yeah.
Those kind of tasks that give you energy, plan those into your day so that when you have to do tasks that take your energy, you're not depleting yourself and getting to a
That's
level of
good.
a place of burnout.
That's good. Well, one of the activities that I do that gives me energy is drink coffee, and I can feel I am due. so, so I think I might, in a moment, go take care of that. So this has been super helpful. I appreciate you sharing this. I'd love to know any final words of encouragement from your experience of warming up to serve to sell with confidence before we wrap up for today.
Absolutely. I think most of the people here are probably interested in being a better coach, right? Showing up to serve people better because that's what we're here to do, serve to sell. And as we focus on serving others, we get what we want. You don't have
Mm,
to worry about going after what you want. Do more of what serves others and you will get more in return. It's
mm,
that law of
yeah.
attraction, right? So I heard this analogy the other day is like those of us who want to be leaders, and since I'm a leadership coach, this is something that's important to me. Those of us who want to be leaders have to be okay with going slow
Mm.
because we are often forerunners. And what do forerunners like to do? They like to run ahead and get the information. But
But if we
what
want people to actually keep up and follow us,
Yes. So it's a dance, right? So we take a step forward to learn it ourselves, then we take a step beside to come along, but sometimes we have to go behind and push. And all of those are necessary to be able to be an effective leader. You can't just be up on top of the mountain saying, "Hi, I'm up here. Come on up here with me. It's fun. The weather's
yeah.
great. Come on a hike with me." No, to lead them well, you're going to have to help prepare them, walk them through that process. And this is the first step. A lot of times, face to face, when you're speaking with someone, that lets them know if you're going to run ahead of them, come beside them, or how you're going to lead them. I was on a call the other day where somebody was trying to sell me something and I couldn't get a word in edgewise. I couldn't ask a question. I knew she asked me a couple of questions in the beginning and I said, here we go. This is the training we all get. And so, but she went through the
But she
questions
hadn't read
so
Serve to Sell, it
fast.
sounds like. It
No,
sounds like she hadn't.
I really wanted to tell her, you need this book, lady.
Yeah. There's
But
been plenty of calls I've been receiving it too. Where I'm just like, can I just send you a copy of my book? I swear it'll help you. And it'll help me too. Because the world will be a better place if everyone follows the serve call method instead of the sales call method.
yes, because if you're so busy running ahead, then you're going to wake up and you're going to look around and you're going to be alone.
Yeah.
That's not leadership.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I would say slow
good.
down, be aware.
That's good. That's good advice. All right. Well, thank you for sharing this. I appreciate you doing this pop-up the training and Q&A. This is awesome. I love sharing this. So keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody accomplishes with this.
Thank you so much, John.